Okay, hey, this is Charles Tenney, and I'm going to do a walk tutorial. This is a walk I did, very basic, very generic. It's on threes, uh, meaning there's for every one drawing, it's held for 3 frames, and it goes for one full second, 24 frames. And I'm just going to show you how I process about going about just like a walk like this, and I'm gonna break down each body part, each main body part, and I'm gonna keep it pretty rough like this, and we'll just go through the process together. Okay, so first, I think it is important to know that a walk, um, your walk's gonna have your front foot and your back foot and essentially your key pose of, say, your front and back legs and your front arms and back arm, then your head, right? Head's a big head. Okay, so you can go pose to pose on this if you want, starting with your key poses, and let me see. So we're gonna put the back leg there, front leg here. Um, just a little bit of perspective right here. By the way, this program I'm in is Toon Boom Animate Pro 2. Animate Pro 2 by Toon Boom. It's really good. It's kind of like Flash, and where it can handle um, drawing in the scene in 2D animation, or traditional 2D animation like this, or cutout animation, or bone IK animation. And I only ever do the drawing with my Cintiq here. And I think it's a really good program if you're going to draw and animate that way. So your key poses or contact poses, where your um, foot is hitting the ground from its back position, is your first frame. And remember, I'm speaking generically now. And the 13th frame, so that's frame 13, frame 1. And then frame 1, since it's a looping animation, is the first frame and the last frame are going to be the exact same. So frame 25 is just frame 1 again. So 1 to 25 here. And your back foot is where it's lifting up off the ground and coming forward. But you want to get your contact positions first, and those are like your key drawings, or poses if you're working in 3D, uh, for your walk. And if you're going to move forward from here, say if you're drawing the body in one piece, you want to work out your where your body essentially catches its own weight, which is going to be the down position, and then where your body is throwing the back leg forward, to push itself forward, to keep obviously walking forward. That's going to be your up positions. And again, generically speaking, and I'll probably repeat myself a lot of times here, that one is your 1, 13, 25. Those are your contact positions. And then frame 4, which I'll just draw here real quick. That's your down position. That's sort of where your leg is catching itself, or your body is being caught under the weight of one leg. Your hips gonna go up a little bit, and that's sort of your down position. Frame 4. Um, so let's just work with the hips here for a second. So you got your down position on frame 10. You're gonna have your upmost position. So frame 4 is gonna be your downmost position, and your upmost position is gonna be on frame 10 here. So we can copy those drawings across if I want to. There. So now we have, excuse me, where am I? Here we are. So frame 4 and frame 16 are your down positions. 4 and 16. Frame 10 and 22 here. 22 are your up positions. Now, I mean, when you're doing a walk, of course, you can overshoot either one of these positions if you want. So you don't have to worry about, like, being so strict with your pose to pose or anything like that. And then your passing position, so to speak, is essentially like your breakdown of from going from your down pose to your up pose. That's going to be on frame 7. Because, like I said, we're doing this all on threes. So we're talking about 1, 4, 7, 10, so on and so forth. 13, 16, 19, 22. Anyway, so we want the passing position here. And you can favor the down pose or the up pose more depending on what you're going for, like what the personality of your character is doing, or the physicality of your character. Say if he's really heavy, you may want to favor the down pose more. And then favoring the down pose is just the drawing this current drawing closer to your previous drawing. So my previous drawing is here, is shown in red. My current drawing is the blue color that I'm coloring with. And the green drawing is the drawing I'm going to. So that's kind of like the sort of the light table or onion skin effect. So we know that that's this cross here, this line going through the circle is supposed to symbolize the hips tilting one way or another to catch the weight. Mind you, like all these rules, quote unquote rules, can be broken once you understand them, and you can essentially do whatever you want. So we got the down, and we got the turn off onion right now. So we have your contact, then you have your down extreme, then you have your passing position, and your up extreme, then you have your contact again. So we're going to copy this passing position across to frame 19. So now I'll turn these off so focus here. Now you sort of see how you have sort of like a bouncing ball that essentially never stops bouncing. And that's kind of what the hips can be like if you want them to be. I'm going to get rid of this for a second. So we have here. Copy these drawings properly, one by one, instead of duplicating them. So this is essentially making new drawings for me instead of duplicate drawings. A duplicate drawing is essentially whatever I do here on frame 25, it's still going to be there because 1 and 25 are identical to each other. So we want the hip position to act accordingly to this other side. Here, oops, hips coming up on that side because we know the body is being caught by that back leg over there. So we kind of have that motion going on. Make this stay up here so it seems like it hits a little more. Okay, so now if we do the legs, so let's just focus on the front leg here, and I'll use a different color for the front leg. Let's do a whole new drawing. Okay, so we got the front leg here, right here. We know it's going to go back all the way from 1 to 13 to this back position here. Put on onion skinning. We know it's going to be back here somewhere. So it's a little bent knee because it's already coming off. But the heel is at the highest point here. So we know, just roughly speaking, I'll do this in red, that when you're walking forward at a continual pace, as if you're on a treadmill, your foot, when it's on the ground, is going to move at the same speed back from 1 to 13. Put this on an overlay layer. Oops, do this on a different layer. Call this notes or something. Copy this all the way. So it's always there, helping us and guiding us. Okay, so we know 7 is going to be right smack in the middle. And we're going to have 4 right in the middle, and 10 right in the middle. And the reason why it's on 3s is that when you break down 2, 3, 5, and 6, and all the other numbers in between, you're going to do those on 3s. So when you do 3s, so let's do the chart a little bigger. So this is 1, this is 4. When you do 3s, chart them out to plan out where you're going to put your drawings. Basically, you kind of want to just eyeball where the third drawing is. And you can eyeball 2, or you can eyeball 3. And you know that 2 or 3, whichever one you decide to draw first, is just going to be closer than half. So here's half, right smack in between the 2 drawings. So that would, if that's half, so we know a third is just slightly closer. I guess this would be 2/3 if we're talking about going forward in time. So here's 3. And then if we want to draw the next third, we know that in between 1 and 3, it's just perfectly in half. So if we're looking at 3 as being a third, then between 1 and 3, it's just right smack in the middle. That's 2. So now we're looking at a breakdown of the chart. It would be 3s, third, and third. So that's kind of how you do that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, 8, 9, and 11, 12. So that's where all those drawings are going to fall. So let's go back to drawing our foot. our leg position. So we know we want 4. Um, so we're here. We want 4. Probably where your leg is catching the most. I'm going to put the heel um, on the chart to line up with the 4 position. And then on 7, we're going to put 4, and you're still pretty flat on the ground here. And then 10 is your upmost position. You kind of do 10 however you want. I like to do 10 where the heel is about halfway height up. So if we know heel, this is the highest heel position. Halfway in between. So there's the heel, and the toes are still on the ground. What I like to do is perfectly straight leg for 10. And then here's your 13. And then when we're coming back, um, you're going to have an arc sort of swinging forward, getting to that back position from that front position. So we know the front position's here and the back position's here. So we want, the foot's going to be coming off the ground, so we're just going to sort of guide that. And then I like to swing the foot out a little forward and then have it come down, or the leg out a little more forward. So, oops, I'm drawing on the wrong layer. Bring that back here. Okay, so here's like our arc we're gonna follow. So let me see if I'm doing this on 3s. Looking at 16, and I like to favor these back positions a little more for the foot, so that when the foot swings forward really, really fast, and sort of slows into this and hits down. So try to do that here with 19. Then we do a 22 in here somewhere. This 19 Yes. So let's do that 19 there. And then that's going to be 22. And then, like I said, we're doing this on 3s, so you're going to have 2 drawings in between each of these. There, and there. Of course, you can kind of do whatever you want with these drawings. They don't have to be perfectly on 3s. So if we wanted to favor these back drawings a little more, we can do quarter here for 20 and a half, here for 21, and then for 23 and 24, say if we want 24 right there, we can do 23 right here. So it's really swinging fast and sort of slowing into 24. Anyway, let's see. Where are we? So that foot's picking up off the ground. 16. We want that here. And your foot's kind of, the toes are kind of going to point where they were. So when you're drawing that, your toes are pointing back to where they were until your foot actually needs to hit the ground and catch itself. So your foot's going to be coming forward here a little more, and then, of course, we have 21. Bring this up a little bit. Whoopsie. Lock those layers. So I'm not grabbing those drawings. It's up. So if we turn off this layer, we can see how that foot's going back at sort of that linear, even spacing pace and then the hope this isn't too small. And then the foot sort of following that arc. The heel's going to follow the arc, and the hips and the knee are kind of going to do its own thing. They're going to have arcs too, but I don't usually track them unless I'm doing like really high fidelity stuff, which I typically don't. So I don't worry about it. If it looks right, it probably is right. But if it looks wrong, it probably is wrong, regardless if you can figure out why or not. Um, what is this junk here? Get rid of that. Okay. So now we have our foot going back and forth along with our hip. Okay. So if we want to just sort of quickly um, do the back leg, we can duplicate this layer and sort of copy it. And offset the drawings. So we're essentially getting the opposite leg going. You can do this in 3D too, copy and paste the animation and then offset it in your program of choice. So now you see how we kind of have that the two legs going, and I'll give this leg a different cool green color or something. Let me just go here real quick and select these drawings wherever I am. I'm not sure. There we are. So we're going to give them this green. Maybe not green. Something else. Yellow. Where am I now? I think I drew these drawings on a different layer, different sub-layer. Anyway, I'll try to put them back really quick. Sorry about that. This one, which layer is this one? Cut and paste it there. Okay. Whoops. Which, okay, that should probably fix most of this. Okay, try not to do that. Okay, so now we have that left leg, or the back leg and the front leg. And so just reposition these drawings to make it look like they are sort of in perspective. Not the cutter tool, the reposition all. Just sort of throw that back there. What that does in this program, every drawing on this layer will now have that new position, so it's kind of higher and back in perspective. So now we have the legs going and the up and down and the hips going. So now we're going to work on the torso. I will use a new color. Nice bright pink or something. Really saturated, like a neon. So the upper body, whichever leg is forward, say your left leg is forward, then your left arm is going to be back. So your chest kind of rotates in that direction too. So your left side of the body is going to be back when your the essentially the top part of your body. Sorry. So if the bottom part, say from the hips down, that's the bottom part of your body. If the left, this is the left foot, if that's forward, then your left part of the body on top is going to be back, like that. Um, so that they kind of have that opposite relationship. Um, so delete that. Okay, so now we're working on the torso. If we want to say that this is the most back position, and we want to say draw that chest in there to opening up a little bit. That's like the shoulder. So that's that frame, and then we're gonna do the frame 13. It's the opposite of that. It's the back. You're gonna see the back here a little bit, and the shoulder is gonna be up here, sort of coming forward. And then we know that frame 125 are the same, so we can start breaking this down and saying that frame. We know that frame. Which drawing is that? This is what happens when you don't name your layers. Okay. That one. All right. So we're just down a little bit because we're looking at the hips and we know we've moved that far down. So we need to move that far down here too. Here. So that was about right, my initial drawing. And this is frame 4, the down position. We can sort of just have the favor the first drawing here. So we're gonna have that chest still be open and seeing us. Okay. And then we're going to do the up position here. We're going to sort of favor that back position. So let me see. Get some order here. So now we've gone from here to here in the length. So now we're up a bit, up right there. My kid is crying in the background, so see how long it is before she comes out to the front to say she wants to get on the computer. That'll be fun. And we can do the passing position here. It's just a little lower. Say here, we're not seeing the back or the front, the chest or the back. We're just seeing the side of the body there. So we're not drawing, say, the front line there or the back line here because they're right here on the sides. So of course, if you're looking at this from the front view, if your hips are like positioned like this, when your foot's down, your torso is going to twist like this, and your shoulders are going to be pointing this way when your hips are pointing that way. Like I said, you can kind of ignore all these rules and understand them a little better. Anyway, so I'm not going to draw that from the side view, but not really. So then let's do this side real quick. We know we're down a bit. Let me see, how far down are we? About right here. So we're going to see the top of this. Oops, sorry, no, we're not. we're going to favor the back. So we're going to see the back a little bit here, I think. Yeah, we're seeing the back. Then we're going to do the, where are we? The up position here. We're going to see the front a little bit because we're, and now we're going to do the in between. Let's put that there. Let's make it a little high. So now we have that a little bit. So my very crude drawings, we should have the front being front, or the sorry, the right side going forward when the left side's going forward, and the left side going back when the left side's going forward. You know, for the opposite, the talking about the upper part of the body, hips up, and the lower part of the body, the hips down, like I said before. So if this is forward, and on the same side of the body, the upper part of the body is back, like that. Okay. Now we can just throw the arms in there a little bit. So that's the left arm coming back. And then the left arm, its most forward position. How did I draw that? Here. I'm going to copy that back there. Then we're going to do a little bit of overshooting here. So this. So the top part of the arm from the shoulder to the elbow is going to be coming forward, but the forearm to the wrist is still going back a little bit. And then where am I? For a second here. Oh, that's the same drawing. Okay. Then we can say that we want 10 to be the breakdown. The passing position for the arms. We can have 7 still pointing more towards favoring that back. It's favoring the previous drawing. There. A little higher. Then 10 is the breakdown. So your arm's sort of following an arc here too, but it's going up and down also. Okay. I hope that doesn't look like crap. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side where the top part of the arm, it was swinging forward before there, but now it's going to start swinging back. So we're going to have that start angling back a little bit there, but we're going to bring the front arm, or the forearm, forward, and that's supposed to be the hand there. Then going to be a little bit of drag and follow through when that hand starts coming back. But still going to favor drawings here. 7, I'm sorry, 19. Then we're going to have a breakdown at 22. Drawing. That's right in between there. That might be a little too much space in between those drawings. We'll sort of see how that looks. Alright, so we have the, no, I'm going to color that different color. All these drawings. So we can differentiate that from the torso. Do a darker color here. It's a shame I can't pretend to reposition all the drawings and just change the color. At least I don't know how to do it. Anyway. So now we can sort of see that purple part of the arm, how it goes, back and forward, and there's sort of drag through the lower parts of the arms, the forearm and the hand, wrist area. You can see how the shoulders really bringing it forward as the upper part of the torso and chest area twists, rotates back and forth. So now we're going to duplicate this layer. Oops. Dupe. And we're going to reposition. Well, first, let's change all the colors, because this is going to be the back arm here. Let's do a new color. Let's do a orange-ish color. To stick with the yellow, I guess. Okay. So we're recoloring and recoloring, and right now I duped the layers right on top of each other. And the layer that we're changing the color of is drawn under this purple layer. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, same thing with the leg. We're going to take this animation and copy it, double it, and we're going to take first half and trash it. And we're going to move the timeline. And so now we have that back arm there. Right there. That's the back arm. I think that's the torso. Yeah. Okay, so now the arm's behind the torso. And then let's reposition the drawings a little bit so be in perspective slightly. There we go. Alright. So now we have the purple front arm and the orange back arm sort of working to help push that body forward a little bit. And let's see here. Now let's work on the head. We'll do just sort of a black. What's a good color? Do this light blue for the head. What I'm going to do here is just get the head, this circle shape, and then just copy it to these other positions. So we know the body's moving down, so let's move the head down. All of the head. And then it's going up on 10, so let's move it up. I guess I should probably number my drawings as 1, 13, 16. Hey, he went headless. 19. I think that's 19. Oops. I do not know how to count. This is 10. This is 7. Here we go. 7, 10, 13. 13, 16, 19. Does not look like a 9. 22. And that's 1 and 25. Okay, back to the head. So we went down. The passing position can actually kind of stay in the same place. And then the up. And then we can dupe that. Copy and paste it. So now we have the head going up and down. I didn't really put any drag or overlap on that or whatever, but we can kind of do that with a cool face real quick or something. Like I did on that first part of the animation that you saw. Um, Here comes my kid, so she might jump on the computer and try to animate for you guys. Um, so we're gonna just throw a face on here real quick. So we got the nose, the eye, the eyebrow, the I'll put that in later. The hair, the head. He's sad looking. The ear. Anyway, the back of the head, whatever. All right. So what we can do is sort of copy that face like we did the head. Okay, and then we'll work in our, just putting this on top of here. So we know we're lined it up. Then we can kind of do some drag and whatnot on these pieces. We're going down, the nose can kind of come up. The ear can shoot up there a little bit. And the seven can be like the down. It can be sort of like a squash. We can take that and move it out. We can move this to move it down a little bit. Oops. Really bring that nose down. Bring those ears down a little bit too. And this can keep sort of pointing to where it was from, but sort of leveling out. And we can do the same thing with the hair too. The hair is kind of there. Then it sort of up, and then really down. And then all coming down. Then we're just gonna do everything here. And I'll get that going. That's terrible hair, by the way. Did it cooler in my other animation, but whatever. Maybe that'll help. Anyway, so that's kind of it as far as like a walk goes. You want to have your contact positions for your legs and your up and down for your hips, and then sort of your forward and back positions for your torso, how they're opposite of the same side of the bottom half of the body. Um, and your arms are just kind of gonna swing back and forth. Turn on these other ones too. Put that all in there, and then you have kind of like your head, and you can do whatever you want with your head depending on the personality of your character. Anyway, that's kind of it as far as a walk goes. Hopefully, I didn't babble too much, and it's kind of you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, this is you can contact me at chazimation.com. Um, so anyway, just enjoy, and I hope this helps anyone who is just learning how to do a very sort of generic walk, and how you can break down the body part into different pieces and animate them separately, so you don't have to really worry about the whole body as essentially a whole. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.